Welcome, everybody. I'm Saurabh Kapoor. I lead product management for Enterprise SONIC distribution by Dell Technologies and strategy around it here at Dell Technologies. Great to have you here. Before we kickstart the discussion, I'd like to just quickly probe and understand. So how many of you are aware of SONIC and heard about this technology before this meeting? Show of hands, please. Oh, okay. So quite a bunch here. How many of you have experienced SONIC, use it or plan on using it? Okay, good. All right, so it's going to be a good educational conversation today. I'll walk you all through the latest in SONIC, what we have done here as part of our Dell Technologies charter, and then we'll have a quick Q&A session later in the session to get your thoughts and feedback, and what some of the most interesting things that you saw in the session today. So standard disclaimer. Some of those product discussions and roadmaps, we like to keep the discussion going. So before we get into the SONIC and the weeds of it, just a quick view of the landscape here. So we feel that the networking ecosystem is following a very similar ecosystem that we have on the compute side. So going back in the years around the compute ecosystem, back before 90s, we had it was very vertically integrated ecosystem. If I had to run a Solaris operating system, I could run that on a SunSpark processor, and same with other vendor technologies. So it was kind of very isolated, from a infrastructure perspective. And in the 90s, we saw Linux and Windows and the likes of those technologies coming in and helping more standardization, where now I could have a single rack with different multiple vendor platforms running the same operating system. What that led to was application centricity. It gave the developers the convenience of writing, single application stack across multiple vendor platforms. And then, later in that, journey in 2002, Red Hat came up with a commercial distribution of Linux for enterprise consumptions. They had a predictable roadmap. They had, support capabilities for enterprise to be rest assured and consume this technology in their infrastructure. We are seeing a similar trend happen with the networking space as well. Right, back in the days, vertically integrated solutions were the prime time. It kind of limited, the ability for the network adopters to go about consuming and building infrastructure. They were dependent on the vendors to source feature functionality, provide them the capabilities they need for their infrastructure. In 2014, we came up with the notion of open networking, which was basically disaggregating the infrastructure, disaggregating the hardware and software, bringing in some partner offerings on the hardware to bring that choice and flexibility for the customers to absorb infrastructure in-house and then go about it. In 2016, we saw SONIC, Software for Open Networking in the Cloud, a brainchild of Microsoft, get contributed back to the community, became an open source technology, and we saw a community build around it. One of the key value props of SONIC was its container architecture, the modularity, the microservices it brought from an infrastructure perspective. Being an open source technology, a rich ecosystem around it, there was a lot of adoption and services growth that we saw with SONIC. Looking at the technical value prop, the business capabilities, it could derive in the application-centric posture this technology had, we decided to come up with a commercial distribution of SONIC with a vision to extend SONIC beyond hyperscalers and bring it to enterprises and telco environments. Make it more consumable. We deliver, the services, the support, predictable roadmap, just like Red Hat did. So we announced the commercial distribution of SONIC, and the vision is to take that forward, extend SONIC capabilities beyond data center, take it to branches, retail use cases, grow an ecosystem of integration with open source tools and enterprise technologies for ease of network management and monitoring. And we're just getting started here. We saw some of the announcements happen earlier today with keynotes and discussions around SONIC and the applicability of this technology to broader use cases. So the journey is just beginning here with SONIC growing in adoption, the community building around it, and we want to make sure that we're tailoring all of this to growing customer use cases, environments, and deliver this value across the board. Another important element to this is, with the pandemic and other forcing functions and new services, multi-cloud kind of environments, now becoming the prime time need, the posture from a customer perspective has changed a little bit, where it's no more centered around protocol stacks. They want application centricity. They want modern architectures that are built on the best practices from the cloud hyperscalers. They want TCO advantages, multi-vendor ecosystem, investment protection. So with all of those requirements coming together, we see that SONIC with its native integrations and ecosystem around it brings all those values and benefits to the adopters and consumers of networking. So a quick view into SONIC. So software for open networking in the cloud, brainchild of Microsoft. It is running one of the largest cloud networks in the world with Azure. We're seeing that growth. And if you look at Jeffrey Moore's product lifecycle, right, is cross early adopters with certain hyperscalers, enterprises, and telco deploying SONIC in their environment. And now there's a fan following that it's coming from an enterprise perspective. That there's Fed, healthcare, retailers, higher eds that they want to take the best practices from technology perspective and deploy it in their ecosystem. Quick view on SONIC and how is that kind of evolving. So it's part of Linux Foundation now. There's a lot of community that is building and evolving around it. Started all the way from 200 members around 2016 to 1,800 plus members joining the SONIC momentum. There's a governing board for SONIC leading some of the charter around scaling, evolving the technology adoption and growth in that segment. We have a technical steering committee that is responsible for growing the applicability of this technology, the feature set, making it applicable to broader use cases beyond data center, and also growing an ecosystem around it so that this becomes a trend around Linux of networking. So looking at the technical value prop and how this technology is kind of helping customers get more agile, get more flexible, get more control on their infrastructure, it's part of our DNA. So as part of our DNA, we've started SONIC enablement across our data center switching equipment, extended it out to edge switching earlier this year, and we have a vision to extend it to use cases around edge compute with SmartNICs and DPU technologies later next year, and the vision to extend these capabilities to more and more edge ecosystems across telco, large enterprises, and make it more consumable. We have partnerships with ecosystem power providers to help bring ease of network management and monitoring from a consumption perspective, and taking the tier 2 cloud providers in our view, we making sure that this technology has integrations into open source tools like Ansible for automation, Telegraph Grafana, Prometheus for monitoring capabilities, and we continue to bring in more and more from ecosystem and integration perspective. We're very cognizant of the customer needs, the applicability of this technology across tier 2 cloud providers, large enterprises, and telco, and continue to monitor the key market trends that are influencing customers with respect to how they want to consume infrastructures, how they want to consume networking as part of the broader infrastructure, and how agile and disparate infrastructures that are building around on-prem, hybrid cloud, which is a mix of private, public, and co-location. A quick 360 on our enterprise SONIC distribution by Dell Technologies. So as I mentioned earlier, it's an enterprise commercial distribution of open source SONIC with feature set and capabilities that are applicable to broader enterprise. So basically it's feature-rich software that is applicable to enterprises, capabilities around for VXLAN VPN, to stretch across application racks, and then it started all the way from cloud environments, the use cases around L3 underlay.
I think there is a loose connection.
Yeah. Hope it's better now. So bringing enterprise-grade feature set and support around it, differentiated 24/7 pro deploy and pro support services. we want to make sure, give me a second, I don't know what's happening here. Okay. Okay. All right. We'll try and see how much we can cover here. Okay. So we started with the cloud use cases in the beginning in 2019, and then extended it out to the enterprise environments with feature set and capabilities added to it. Recently, earlier this year, we brought in some of the capabilities that were needed for retail edge, branch edge use cases, extending SONIC capabilities to those environments with features like PoE, port security. In this pursuit of open source, it was also very important to ensure that we build common knowledge repositories that are accessible across enterprises, telco, cloud service provider, with documentation, training services, enabling those integrations, and helping customers get acclimated to this technology. So we brought in a lot of support for GNS3, hands-on lab, integrations into tools like Fabric Design Center to push out those templates and capabilities out to customers for ease of network management and deployment. Perfect, thank you. So how's the Dell Enterprise SONIC offering differentiated, right? So we have a dedicated team of engineers who's responsible for software development and deployment capabilities. When I say software development, it's primarily around building feature set that are important for enterprise consumption, delivering support capabilities. So you have 1-800-DELL to provide you support across the stack from hardware, software to ecosystem technologies. We're building user documentation, building reference architectures, knowledge repositories for customers to leverage the knowledge, the best practices. The customers have gone through different SONIC deployments from their traditional networking infrastructures. Building multi-vendor support. So on the lines of getting a red hat of networking posture, we have enabled Dell Enterprise SONIC not just on Dell platforms, but also non-Dell platforms. We've started, those partnerships with EdgeCore, where customers can have a multi-vendor ecosystem with a single underlying software release that runs on top of it and brings them application-centric posture. Taking advantage of the container architecture in SONIC, so in order to avoid software bloat with feature set and capabilities, we are tailoring the bundles specific to each use cases. So there are the cloud use cases which do not require enterprise capabilities, have a specific cloud bundle that is tailored for layer 3 underlay use cases. Lightweight software build specific to those environments, give them the ability to run third-party containers and applications on the NAS and without any software bloat. So less code, less potential for bug in your environment. Enterprise bundle is a superset of cloud. So you get the cloud capabilities plus enterprise classics like VXLAN, EVPN, multi-chassis lag, and the likes of those for environments which need feature sets, which need a lot of capabilities for enterprise environments. The Edge bundle is the latest one that we have added to the portfolio. This is basically a software package, a bundle that is applicable to retail branch edge use cases. And then this is to create one unified software layer that extends from data center to edge, allowing them to use the same set of tools, be it automation and monitoring that they have been using in their data center, to also use the same on their edge environment. So giving a seamless application-centric posture with the same underlying software package. So a quick view into what's supported today. So as part of our offering, we have platforms ranging all the way from 1 gig out-of-band management switch to 400 gig with a partner Broadcom across the Trident 3, Tomahawk 3, Tomahawk 4 ASIC family. rich set of protocol support across the target use cases. We built on the community version 2012, looking to rebase against the latest one in the coming releases. A lot of capabilities from an infrastructure management perspective, be it the TACX and radius for authentication authorization to ZTP, streaming telemetry, and also with rich ecosystem solutions around Ansible-based automation to integrations into partner technologies like Appstar, Dorado Cruise, and Octera for network management and monitoring capabilities. So in our commitment to Sonic, we have added tons of capabilities on the roadmap. 4.0 is the latest release that we launched earlier this year with extensions into Edge. Now we're looking to launch 4.1 in March next year, which is going to bring in or introduce Sonic to the extended telco data center environments with features like VLAN translation, Q&Q, Storm control, etc. We're bringing in platform support for Tomahawk 4 and Trident 4 X9 across 400 gig and 100 gig platform options. Also building Edge bundle on our new, latest and greatest Edge platforms, specific for environments around retail branches that require that extra headroom to bring application support on the platforms. And then later in the year, we have a vision to bring in support for EVPN multi-homing, some of the multicast capabilities, along with certain Fed certifications required for the federal government use cases we have. At the bottom of the slide, you see some of the integrations we have with open source tools and partner technologies. This is, again, a vision that networking cannot be siloed. You need to create an ecosystem for ease of consumption. So we continue to ramp up, integrate our solutions into broader ecosystem. And along this journey, we'll see and launch new partner solutions to bring choice and flexibility with respect to how management and orchestration happens within the networking fabric. A quick view into multi-year aspirational roadmap. So it kind of conveys two things. One, we committed to Sonic. There's a long-term vision to it. There's an applicability of this technology to the use cases beyond data center. Our calendar year 23 focus is going to be Fed and financial customers, telco data center environments. Year after, we're looking to extend Sonic on DPUs and SmartNICs and enable some of the Dell ISG integrated solutions group product offerings. So, technologies across our storage family, which is PowerFlex, NVMe over TCP, multi-cloud, Edge. Those are going to be some of the use cases focused there. And by calendar year 25, we're looking to extend Sonic to telco, Edge, multi-cloud use cases and environments. This roadmap is built on customer feedback, input, and we have customers working hand in glove here in terms of establishing a predictable roadmap on how they're looking to grow new services and enable use cases. So here's a snapshot of some of the supported customer use cases. We started with the cloud fabric, L3 underlay, simple, reliable fabrics for tier 1, tier 2 cloud service provider environments. We extended Sonic to enterprise environments, which require seamless scale out, integrations into underlay for SDN deployments, use cases like routing on the host, multi-tenancy with VXLAN EVPN, and then also enabling Sonic for the edge environment, specifically starting with retail edge, branch edge use cases with unified NOS running across data center and edge for ease of consumption and application-centric viewpoint. Our 4.0 release focused on edge and also brought in capabilities needed for data center environments. So this was basically bringing in data center interconnect support to give the comfort around reliability, redundancy, resiliency to fabrics and how this infrastructure is deployed. For the edge retail deployment, we brought in support for 3 platforms. The 4810 gig base T with PoE support on N3248PXE goes all the way to 90 watts. The industry-based platforms we have, along with 48 by 10 gig base T and 48 by 1 gig base T. So these were some of the platforms we launched as part of our crawl, walk, run within the edge space, bringing in support for features like port security 802.1x, power over Ethernet, enabling some of the customers within higher ed retail spaces as the first release. And then, we're looking to do a crawl, walk, run within the edge space, use case by use case with every release. So networking is important, and so is managing it. So the lifecycle management has been a very important focus area for us. Ranging all the way from day 0 to day 2 and beyond. From a deployment perspective, building capabilities around ease of network deployment, software installation, zero-touch provisioning, and Ansible-based automation. So we have committed engineers who are responsible for writing Ansible modules, getting those Red Hat certified, and making those available on open source GitHub page for customers and partners to consume it, build an automation ecosystem for ease of deployment. Configuration is an important element here. We have partner technologies that bring some of that ease, and also natively SONIC provides management framework CLI, REST APIs, and GNMI to bring some of those API-centric posture. Monitoring through standard Linux shell, some of the capabilities within NOS, and then extending monitoring and diagnostic capabilities with a mixed bag of both what is available natively and as well as what's available with our partner solutions. We have a partner like Octera, which provides AI/ML-based network monitoring capabilities, basically taking you all the way from reactive monitoring to predictive monitoring with the capabilities on board. Our view is to create an infrastructure that is consumable. So building an infrastructure as a code, a crawl, walk, run journey for customers. This is a snapshot of what we have deployed in one of our cloud service provider environments. So all the way ranging from a user group that's responsible for change requests to submitting pull requests within GitHub, triggering CI/CD into Jenkins, and then having the Red Hat Ansible engine running those CI/CD results on a canary environment, which could be either a physical setup that is a proof point running some of the dev and security patches and releases, and then pushing it out on a production environment, which could be a physical setup that is across data centers, across different pods. With the integrations into native tools and technologies that we have with VMware, along with some of the partner solutions we have as ecosystem technologies and open source tools like Telegraph, Prometheus, and Grafana. And all these are natively integrated into service now. So this kind of basically established entire CI/CD with infrastructure as a core posture to make it more of a solution package as opposed to a piecemeal strategy. DevOps is important, so we're riding on Ansible as a prime-time vehicle in that space. Here's a snapshot of certain modules that we have contributed to the open source community, enabling some of the automation playbooks. Dell Technologies provides professional services, professional deployment support for our customers to help them, establish a fabric all the way from rack and stack to configuring the ecosystem and providing them post-production support as well, and then manage those environments. With every open source technology, security is one of the key concerns, right? So taking that in mind, we're very particular about the security element of it. Natively, SONIC provides a lot of capabilities to ensure that the stack is secure, reliable, and runs large fabrics without any hiccups. Additionally, we're looking to get SONIC Fed certified. So there are initiatives and plans in play right now to get those Fed certifications kicked in over the next 18 to 24 months. So very secure by design, and then as a process, we're looking to get those certifications in to ensure that customers can deploy it and get that assurance in. As part of a customer and partner enablement, one of the key things we do is have a concept called Demo Center, which is a set of hands-on lab, pre-built hands-on lab, where customers and partners can go in, get acclimated to SONIC, play with some of the use cases we have natively in production deployed, get acclimated to it, and get some of the best practices and learnings in. And this is not in silos, so we're very cognizant of the feedback from our customers and partners. There are big bets that are put on SONIC. With the adoption and the growth of this technology, the applicability of this technology to emerging use cases, there's a prediction that by 2025, 40% organizations who have large fabrics, more than 200 switches, are going to be running SONIC in production. The interest in SONIC as a technology has grown up exponentially over the last couple of years. The supply chain challenges have been a big forcing function for the customers to go after technologies that that provide them multi-vendor, provide them a posture where they have more control in terms of sourcing the infrastructure. And SONIC provides that environment for them, because this is one technology that almost every other silicon provider, the switch provider, and system service provider is looking to support on. And then this continues to go exponentially over the years. There's a prediction that SONIC is going to be a $2.5 billion market in the next couple of years. And we started to see that trend with customers now looking at the SONIC and the value prop of these technologies and going through those pilot productions, and proof of concepts. And not just that, there's along with all the technical value prop and the benefits like container architecture and stuff, the customers have also reported significant cost savings. In survey, we found that 35% TCO reduction with the SONIC-based infrastructure in-house, which is significant when you talk about large fabrics and converts into millions of dollars. So in summary, we're entering an era of open source networking. There's a lot happening within SONIC as a community. Linux Foundation has been driving a lot of momentum around with the governing board and the technical steering committee. We're seeing a growth in terms of new partners and ecosystem providers joining the SONIC bandwagon. And the vision for Dell Technologies is to bridge the gap between hyperscale environments and enterprise environments with feature set capabilities and bringing more control and flexibility to our customers. So with that, I'm going to wrap up my session here and open the floor for any questions. Go ahead.
So I'm curious, how do you, if I understand it correctly, the licensing for the source code is through a GNU public license and Apache both combination. So how do you deal with the copyleft situation of GNU with your deployments?
Yes.
If I want to add,
Absolutely.
stuff.
Absolutely. So the way we have gone about this commercial distribution is, it's an extension of open source SONIC. So we could pick up a community base, we add feature set and capabilities to it, and sell that in a subscription-based model to our customers. It's 1, 3, and 5 year subscription. Customers who are looking to contribute to the source code, they want to contribute certain feature functionalities, being part of the community, we help them connect the dots, make those contributions to the community, pick those back into the source codes that we have as part of our next release rollout, and enable that. So there's a continuous, cycle that we're maintaining with respect to our contributions back to the community, and also picking up what's available, be it through our customers or other community members and partners in the community.
But doesn't that GNU license bleed into your value add?
Yes.
Of course, you've got to make that public as well.
Yes. So far we have made significant contributions to the SONIC ecosystem. We've done around 1 million lines of code contribution, 5,000 plus defect fixes. We've done a lot of documentation for the community, and we continue to do that. As part of our charter around SONIC, we want to drive this open source value prop. And we are on the governing board as well as the technical steering committee, driving some of that effort. So very true and honest to the vision we have with open source. We're not looking to fork this as a proprietary build. Whatever we build, we contribute it back to the community for enablement. That was a really good question. Thank you. Anybody else? Go ahead.
Yep. So how has an open networking strategy, helped Dell's business as a whole?
Yes. So open networking was a different differentiation for our portfolio. It enabled choice and flexibility for our customers in the way they wanted to go and consume networking in their space. It gave them an option to go with a different vendor network operating system. We did have OS 10, which is part of our Dell ecosystem, but now they had more than OS 10 with our partner network operating systems to go about it with respect to what technology suited their environment best. So that was one step into this journey. With SONIC, our partnership with Microsoft and the community around it, that was open networking 2.0. So bringing SONIC in, developing a commercial distribution of SONIC, working with Broadcom as a partner in that journey, allowed us to take that momentum forward and bring that choice and flexibility and control to the customers. Sorry, you had a question?
So when you talked about the management of multiple SONIC switches,
Yes.
you mentioned the CI/CD and Git and everything. Have you thought of leveraging the Kubernetes control plane for the management of SONIC switches?
Yes, great question. Yes, Kubernetes is on our radar. We have a lot of customers asking us to work through some of those Kubernetes K8 clusters and Calicos and the likes of those technologies. So we're going through that early eval phase with our engineering teams to evaluate the applicability of this technology and how we can make it more consumable. So that is definitely on the charts, and we're lining up those discussions as part of enablement going forward. So yes. All right, so right on time. Thank you everybody for joining. Good discussion, great questions. Feel free to reach out to us for any questions, and let's work together to shepherd this open source networking journey forward. Thank you everybody.